cannot believe it. I'm having the most harebrained idea right now. And there's nothing like a car ride, driving. Nothing like driving that will get my mind going like this. Nothing. Oh my gosh. What is this? Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh my goodness. I've been laughing to myself for the last like 10 minutes, just like thinking about all the ways this could go. Oh my god. What in the world? Okay. Oh, okay. You're not gonna believe this. I literally don't even know if I'm gonna post this. I don't know if I'll chicken out. I don't know if this is actually gonna turn into anything. I don't know if, like, these are just raw thoughts that were coming to mind while driving, which somehow driving just like makes my mind process and spit things out. Like, but just in case I want to post this, hey, my name is Darz, welcome here. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera because I am definitely paying attention to the road while I'm driving. I might have to put background music on this because my kids are watching tablets in the back, so you might hear some background noise. But on this channel, we learn, we grow, we expand the comfort zone, and that is what this video is all about. That's what this idea, this harebrained idea, is all about, for sure. Oh my gosh. Am I actually thinking this right now? Am I actually thinking about doing this seriously? Like, seriously? Okay. I mean, I'm already here. I'm already here. Okay, where do I start? I come from a very, how do I say this? I love my community, I love my culture, I love my family. Let me just start with that, which I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but on YouTube you have to disclaimer everything all the time, I swear. So I come from a very tight-knit, conservative community in a small town, kind of a tight-knit, you know, religion, and everyone kind of does things more or less the same, you know. There have been things that are taboo. There's things we don't do, there's things we don't talk about, and we're getting better at it. We're getting better, and I think I am one of those people that was just meant to rip band-aids, just rip open the wounds, make people talk about things, bring things into the open that we don't talk about and we don't approve of, and here I am. I guess that's just what I'm here for. I don't know what to tell you. Growing up in a big family and with most people I know, getting married young, like, I didn't think it was young because it was like 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. I was like, you know, before you reach that age, you're like, oh yeah, those people are old, you know, they're grown, they're adults. But once you pass that age, you're like, oh, well, that is very young. So I just thought, you know, I'll get married young. I didn't think it was young, like I said at the time. I just thought I'll get married, have kids. I'm going to probably have a big family. I'm going to be like a stay-at-home, like entrepreneurial, working from home type of mom, like my mom was. And I'll, you know, do life like all the people around me. Not all, of course. There's always exceptions, but anyways. But then I actually, this is funny. Okay, how much do I want to reveal? Okay, sorry, it's getting dark too. Anyway, disregard the noise. You know, in middle school, high school, girls, guys, you know, you start having crushes on people, whatever. Personally, I never did. I was just never interested. I was like, who cares? Boys, like, what? Until I met this guy that I really liked, and I actually like really had a crush on him. And then he passed away. I never really got to know him that well, but anyway, he was like from the church and community, so I was like, oh, like, this is great, you know, I want to date this guy, and then I didn't. And then after that, I just never was interested in anybody else. And then I ended up going to Nicaragua after I graduated from high school. Went back and forth a couple times. Long story short, met my now ex, and I was like, there is no way that we're ever gonna date. Just so you know, like, when we were becoming friends, I was like, not gonna happen. I'm gonna marry somebody from within the church. And then, well, long story short, we got married. And we got married in Nicaragua, and we got married without him having a visa to come to the US, and we got married not in the church and not with a minister and not, you know, like, not with my entire family there, and not, like, all these things that I had imagined were not in the cards for me. Did not happen for me. Okay, so like breaking all these boundaries, like ripping away all these dreams from like when I was a little girl and like, you know, what my family probably expected of me. But, you know, they accepted him, they love him, he's a great guy. Everyone, I think, still, even though we are no longer together, it's like he's still part of the family, definitely. And so, yeah, so anyway, it was, you know, got married outside of the church, outside of the state, outside of the country, outside of the culture, outside of the language. He didn't even speak English when we got married. And then another thing is like most people when they get married they expect they're just gonna start having kids. Like again, this is like taboo. People don't talk about it, but we don't protect against having kids. But him and I, you know, he was working in Nicaragua and a job that paid him, I think it was like just over $200 per month. $200. And I was going back and forth, and so I would work for a while and then I would spend my savings on going to visit him. And yeah, so we really didn't have money. He wasn't even in the US at first. We were applying for his visa. It took 14 months for him to ever even get to the US. And so like we were just like, we're not having kids until we can, like until we're stable, until we're good and ready. So that was another thing that we broke. And then, yeah, we moved around, whatever. We stayed in the church. We still like pretty much went with everything that we still believed, but it was just like, now I have this Latino husband, Catholic Latino husband. And anyway, okay, so fast forward, we had 2 kids. We were living outside of, you know, we have different small groups of our community around the USA, but we didn't live within any of those communities at one point. And so that was like a little bit, you know, sometimes you go out and make a living and then you come back to your community, but we kind of planned on it at some point, but we were just like, weren't sure. It wasn't like a for sure exact plan. Like we were kind of like going by ear. Well, then the other thing I did, like I already quickly mentioned this, but yeah, we are no longer together. And so that was I've mentioned this in another video as well, but we definitely don't do that within our culture and community and religion. But I just it didn't work. So now recently I have been trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And I'm like, I need to stabilize, you know, I have kids that I need to take care of. They need a stable life. Now that they already don't have the perfect American family that lives all under one roof, it's like people automatically just assume like unstable, you know, that's your kids need stability, you need both parents around all the time, you need this and that and the other thing, and we're just not doing that. And so I'm like, okay, let me buy a house, settle down. Well, I was this close to buying a house, and then something in my gut was just telling me you are not ready for this. Signs around the world, the universe, God was just sending me all these signs like, you're not ready for a house, don't buy the house, that's not for you, you're not ready yet, it's just not the thing to do. And I was like, yeah, but logically it is definitely the thing to do. Like I have to buy the house, I have to settle down, I have to like, what's the point of spending, you know, $800 a month or $1,000 a month on rent if I'm not even gonna end up keeping like the house that I'm living in? Is just throwing away money out the window. But I was like, no, I just cannot buy the house. It's just not gonna work for me. Just not gonna work for me. So call me crazy, call me whatever, call me taboo, call me, I don't know, whatever things, but it's just not for me. It's not for me at this time, at this stage. I don't know why, it's just not. So, I have a 9 to 5. I have a stable job. My kids are going to school, well, one of them anyway, the other one's not old enough yet. Like, things are pretty regular. I just don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but it's not gonna be long-term, like buy a house and settle down in that one house. I just can't do it. I'm just gonna find a place to rent or something. But anyways, that's another thing that like a lot of my family has bought a house, settled down. They're like, I'm living here for the next 50 years or whatever. Like they know where they are. They know they're happy where they're living and they're just not gonna move for a good foreseeable future. And many of my siblings also have, and like other extended family, like cousins, uncles, aunts, whatever, they have bought houses to rent out long-term, rent out short-term, Airbnb, Verbo, you know, all these investments. And I'm just like, I did buy a house when I was 17. Was I 17 or 18? I think I was 17. I think I bought it when I was 17 and then I turned 18 soon after. And it was a duplex. I lived in one side, I rented the other side. After I moved out, I rented both sides. It was a headache. It made me some money, yes. It was great for when we were only, that was the other part of being able to go to Nicaragua, is because I had that rental income. So yeah, that was great for a while, whatever. It's just, anyway, I sold the house because I needed some work that I couldn't do, and I was a long distance landlord, which is not fun when you have issues to deal with. So I had sold that house. So now I don't have a house, but I'm like, oh, everybody has houses, everybody has investments, this is what I need to do. I need to do that again. Let me find a house, let me find a house, let me find a house. But it's just not for me. It's just not. I can't, not right now. Anyways, maybe in the future, who knows? We'll see. So my harebrained idea, all that to say, on my channel and in my life, I've always talked about expand your comfort zone, expand your comfort zone, expand your comfort zone, do what's uncomfortable, do what's uncomfortable. You have to do that to grow and learn. You have to do that in life. You can't just be stagnant and do the same things over and over. You'll become a robot, whatever, like not good. Just like a pond that the water never moves, it gets all green and nasty. No, you need to be a river. You need to move, you need to flow. You need to have change and growth and movement. And also, coming from my stoic Finnish background and culture of a lot of topics that are taboo, and it took us a lot. So funny. I have this funny story quickly. So this is a long-winded way to say everything, but I'm just, you need to know all the details, okay? So Latino culture is very huggy, right? Everybody hugs each other. You even get a kiss on the cheek when you're like greeting somebody, even if you don't really know them. Like if you come into a house, in a room, you greet everybody in the room with a little side hug and a little, like on the cheek kind of, or in the air, whatever, however you do it. But very, very huggy, very emotional, very speak your heart. And so I got used to that. And I'm also a very touchy person. Like, I mean, not necessarily super touchy, but like, I like hugs. I'm a hugger. If I meet you, I'm probably want to hug you. And so I came from living with my ex, and his family, and spending a lot of time with his family, in Nicaragua and with his culture. And I got used to just hugging people. Plus, also, when you live far away from your family, then when you come see them, it's like, I want to give you a hug, and then when you're leaving, it's like, I don't know when I'm going to see you again, so let's give you a hug. But now living around family, we don't really hug anymore because we see each other all the time, and it's like, like I should just start giving them hugs anyway, because I love hugs. I'm a hugger. I know some of my family, they're just not huggers, and they're just kind of like, okay, I'll hug you, but I don't really want to. But I'm like, give me a hug. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, so when I moved back to Michigan, back to my culture, back to my small town, I was going to work one day and I came across one of my cousins, a guy cousin, and I just went in for a hug. I was like, hey, it's so good to see you. Like, how's it going? And he was so visibly uncomfortable. Like, he did not expect a hug. He did not necessarily that he didn't want to hug me, but he like definitely stuck out his hand to shake my hand. I was like, I'm going in for the hug, like what? And I just so warmly embraced him, and he was just stiff as a stick in the mud, like, what is happening? And I was just like, oh yeah, these people they're not used to this. They don't really hug. This is not a thing. I was like, oh, okay. But I was just so happy and excited to see him because it's like been so long, and I'm like coming back to my hometown, and I was like, okay, that's not okay. So then I kind of stopped, and it's like, I get used to like, there's certain people that I sometimes just like, I want to go in for a hug, and I just can't because it's just weird, especially when it's a male and a female and you're not married, you're not dating. Like, that guy is married and he has a wife and kids, and you're like, okay, but I don't want to shake your hand awkwardly. But anyways, so yeah, just stoic Finn culture background, tight-knit, religious, conservative, all these things. I'm coming back into it from, living in the world and doing all these things and getting divorced and having married outside of the culture and community and church and all these things. I'm just like, I am learning to be more huggy, to be more speak from the heart, to be more emotional, to be more vulnerable, to be more expressive and say what I think and feel. And it's been really hard. It's honestly been such a hard journey I'm getting better at it. But that paired with the fact that I am always talking about expand the comfort zone, paired with the fact that I'm like way out there and coming back to my community and kind of like a black sheep, and people don't really know what to do around me or feel around me or talk about around me at times because I'm just like very much ripping band-aids left and right, making people uncomfortable. I have a tattoo on my wrist, which I don't know if my parents even realize, honestly, and tattoos are a no, heck no in most religions, you know, but I definitely feel very guarded around my wrist when I'm around family, which is only something I can take care of myself, you know, like it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, but I'm the one kind of like caring. But if I didn't care and I didn't ask for permission about it, then it wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't be a thing. So I'm not like blaming anybody. I'm not like, I love my family and it's not anything like, it's all me, right? I can fix my own insecurities if I try, which brings me to this harebrained idea. Okay, I know I said that already, but I promise. Oh gosh, okay, so I'm like, if I'm all these things, if I'm all about growth, if I'm all about expanding the comfort zone and becoming vulnerable and ripping band-aids left and right, why don't I actually just make it a thing? Like, make it a thing. Like, start hugging my family. This sounds really stupid, but like, experiment and try speaking up and try just like pushing as much as possible to like make it a thing to make myself uncomfortable in order to grow in different ways and just be that obvious black sheep that I am. Because trying to hide it is not getting me anywhere. Everybody knows we're separated, divorced. Everybody knows our family, you know, we're trying to figure things out as separated parents. Everybody knows that, you know, I pierced my ears, and it's like, I am still shrinking. I'm still trying to hide it. I'm still not fully being myself around my family, and I hate that feeling. It's horrible. Don't do it. You have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. And I have to do that. I have to be that model for my kids, honestly. Like, I cannot sit here and ask for permission anymore. I cannot sit here and shrink myself because of whatever anybody else thinks. I just have to be myself, be fully myself, and be unapologetically myself. And so, like I said in a recent video, something about fear, when you're going to do something like speak on a stage or do something that scares you, instead of running away from fear, you have to take the fear, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, put it in your wallet, bring it with you, invite fear along, and allow it to be there. Because the only way you're gonna get comfortable with fear and it's not gonna bother you anymore is just to be with the fear and not run away from it. So if I want to become and feel like myself, be more authentic, I have to stop running away from myself. I have to stop running away from who I am. I have to stop running away from all of those things with anybody. Whoever I'm around, I have to be myself. I can't run from myself. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is such a huge epiphany and thought, and I'm like, if I just make my YouTube channel about that, I mean, okay, I've said previously in other times, other ways, other places, like, this is my YouTube channel. Like, I have an idea, this is gonna be my YouTube channel, and then I try it, and then it's like, bah, that didn't really work. But you know what? It's all about iterations. So this is the next thing I'm gonna try. And honestly, I started this video thinking like, this is the nutsoest, dumbest, like, what? I could never do that. And now that I've spoken for like 25 minutes, I'm like, it feels like the right next iteration. It feels like I could, like, oh my gosh. People can relate, people can learn from it, people can grow, people can laugh, people can cringe, people can breathe a sigh of relief that they don't have to hide anymore. Oh my goodness. Like, my family is very loving, has been very open to me. Like, I've had my struggles and moments of like, I don't know if they're accepting me with this breakup and like all this stuff, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're not gonna kick me out of the family, you know, for this. So, you know, it's like, I'm not doing anything to hurt them per se. Like, I'm not ruining their lives. Like, obviously, if I was purposely hurting people, then yeah, that would be something, but I'm not doing that, you know? I'm just like living my life, and I'm just trying to live my purpose and my authentic self. Goodness gracious. I think everybody can relate that we don't want to hide and batter ourselves day to day trying to live the perfect life that we think is what other people think we need to do. So anyway, TBD, I know it's really dark, but just to clarify, oh my gosh, these are so glaring. Just want to be clear. I'm not saying any of this, and I don't want to do any of this to make people uncomfortable on purpose per se. Like for myself, yes, I'm trying to learn and grow and make myself uncomfortable, you know. But I'm not trying to, none zero of my plan. It's like, I think sometimes when you're on one side of a situation and you see other people doing stuff that you are not very happy with or you wouldn't do yourself, you're kind of like, you feel a little bit personally hurt. I'm not trying to do that. This is just purely like me realizing I need to do stuff for myself. And I also think it's just healthy to set that example that you are being yourself for other people to see that it's okay to be yourself, you know? It's okay to follow your instincts and do what you need to do. The other thing is, I know for some people, like, it's totally normal to do things like pierce your ears and get a tattoo and wear makeup and paint your nails and, you know, all these things that people just do on a normal day-to-day basis. For us, it's a huge deal, and it has been a huge deal, and I think it will be a huge deal, and it, you know, but I think the part that other people can relate on, even if you can't relate to like, oh, getting your ears pierced is such a big deal, like the thing that maybe I think is relatable here is that you grow up one way, your parents want something of you, you feel pressure from family or parents or family, did I already say family? Or just friends, people around you to do things a certain way. But I want to be that example of like, okay, you have these people around you saying you need to do things this way, but you are going with your inner guidance and your inner authentic self and like making your own decisions and being okay with making your own decisions and standing up for your own decisions, even when you're around those people that don't really like those decisions. I hope that clarifies everything that I was trying to say here. Thanks for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.